Good morning.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, y'all. It is so good to see you guys. We unintentionally had a week off last week because yours truly had a horrible case of food poisoning that occurred starting.
I'm so glad you're better.
Oh my gosh, that is so rare for me, and so we're going to talk about. I thought it would be a good thing for us to talk about for at least a few minutes of, those of us that eat healthy, how can you avoid food poisoning, and what can you do to manage it naturally? So we're going to talk about that today. Oh, why don't we talk about who we are? Can you tell? I'm so geared up because
that's what happens when you take a week off.
we have so much we want to talk about, but also the RFK hearings the RFK Junior hearings are today, and Wendy and I are so excited about tuning in and checking that out. So and we have not been secretive at all about our excitement and our support of that man. So very, very excited.
I think he's going to be able to, I'm hoping he's able to do everything that he wants to do, because I think it's going to be so good for people's health.
100%. And any naysayers out there, do your homework. Y'all have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just telling you. I'm just being honest. Whether you are a Trump fan or not.
He's not anti-vax.
No.
Yeah, a lot of people think that because the mainstream media has portrayed him that way, and he's totally not anti-vax.
100% not. He is anti-experimental vax being forced on people. That is what he is anti, and everybody should be.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very exciting thing to see. I'm really hoping with everybody else that's been confirmed, he'll be a shoo-in, but who knows? There's a lot of people fighting against it. There's a lot of high dollar people fighting against him because they know what he's going to come in.
A lot of the pharmaceutical money is behind the opposition on that.
Oh yeah. So anyway. Who are we? I am Dr. Wendy Sue Massey. I am an alternative medical practitioner. I am an author, a holistic nutrition specialist, retired, registered nurse, ER and trauma for almost 2 decades, lover of Jesus, wife, mom, Gigi, gardener, cook, and
author.
I said that.
Oh, you did? I missed it.
I actually said it this time. And this is our WOW podcast, WOWW, Wendy's on Wellness Wednesday. And this is my amazing girlfriend, Wendy Flournoy.
Hi, guys. I'm Wendy Flournoy, certified hypnotherapist, herbal enthusiast, wife, mom, Gigi, lover of Jesus, love to garden. I love all things natural and non-toxic. And I love learning and teaching.
Yes, same. And you know what? There's always room for both. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things I've said it on our podcast before. I used to tell the nurses that I was training that if you come in with an attitude like you already know everything, it's time to find a new job, because you better believe you can learn every single day. And that's exactly how you and I are. We're forever students.
Yep. So, the more you learn, the more you change because of what you learn, the more you evolve. And every time I learn something new, I realize how much I don't know.
Yes, definitely. And there's such great, so much great information out there about all of the natural stuff that we do. Yes. And I can't help. I just dive in. I can't wait to share more and more and more. So much that I learned in school, and there's so much more to learn. So, I mean, it's just so exciting.
Always so much to learn. And I don't understand the people that think they know it all already, because I don't think you ever get there.
It's ego.
I really don't think we ever get there. I hope I never get there, because I love learning.
I do too. We won't. We're not wired that way. We love to learn.
And I love sharing what I learn.
Yes. Speaking of which, what have you been up to the last 2 weeks since?
I want to give y'all an update on my apple cider vinegar, because I'm really impressed with how fast it's coming along, because normally it takes me at least a year before I really see a difference. Look at that. I've strained all the apples and pieces and peels and everything out now. So the jars are just sitting. I'm keeping these on there because it will still build. It's still fermenting. So it's still building the gas and everything. So Rick bought me these so I won't blow up any jars this
Lesson
learned. Trial and error.
Right.
And I have made, since I gifted all of my soaps that I made before Christmas, I made some rose soap.
Ooh.
So it has high quality rose essential oil and actual rose petals is what the pieces you see in there.
Nice.
Smells so good. So good. So that is sitting and curing right now. And I also had a little tip for everybody because I've been using the dryer lint thing for campfires since my kids were very little.
Yeah.
So every year, because I have a fireplace and I love a fire, every year I buy at least 2 cases of the fire starter logs.
Yeah.
Right? Just to make life easy.
Yeah.
Well, they're not cheap. And I was like, there's got to be a better way than this. And I saw my bag of dryer lint, and we're not doing camping right now. So I'm like, I think I'll use toilet paper rolls and stuff them with dryer lint. And then I just wrapped them in some tissue paper that I had. And you take beeswax or leftover candle wax that you melt down and you pour it in the tops after you stuff it full of dryer lint. And then I put it in here just to have an easy start burn and twist it up like that. This will get your fire going, whether you're camping, whether it's your fireplace or whatever. The dryer lint soaks up all the moisture.
Oh, how cool.
Doesn't keep the fire from kind of snuffing out or whatever.
Yeah.
It's worked great. And I'm like, I will never buy starter logs again.
That's awesome.
They're so cute.
They are cute. I was doing that with the toilet paper rolls and the dryer lint in our wood stove back years ago when we lived in Amelia. And but I never made them look cute.
Well,
I love that. And I didn't do the beeswax, which probably keeps them going a lot longer.
Yeah. And that was the new thing that I had learned. Cause like you, I've been using the dryer lint and stuff for years, and we don't like waste. So we try to use as much as possible. But I used to tear my, toilet paper rolls into shreds and use them like little kindling, So I was like, okay, well, let me keep them whole. And then I saw a TikTok video of the girl doing the wax on the ends. And I'm like, oh, that totally makes sense. I never thought about it.
That's
so I'm like, okay. So get to burn your toilet paper rolls so you don't have to bulk up your trash.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, so now I'll just keep making them and take them camping and stuff too.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That is perfect. Well,
so what have you been up to besides being sick with the food poisoning?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, praise God I'm as healthy as I am, because I was fine in less than 24 hours. I felt weak, but I was fine.
I know last Wednesday you were rough.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It hit me we went out to eat we don't go out to eat often. We go out to eat maybe once every other month. It's a very rare occurrence for us. And we were out house shopping, which is what I've been up to. that's what's been consuming my brain is house shopping.
Exciting.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. We're looking for our next homestead, and we're looking in we were looking in both Maryland and near where we are, and right over the border in Pennsylvania. We're pretty much sold on sticking to Pennsylvania because many reasons, but can't wait to flee this state. This state's crazy.
Right.
Sorry. I love my friends here. I'm not a fan of the politics here and a lot of what the spending is being done here. But in Pennsylvania, I feel like it'll be a lot better suited for us, but also the cost of living is a whole lot cheaper. I've been looking at houses at the same price range on both sides of the border, and what you can get just driving 10 miles from where we are into Pennsylvania is worlds different.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. So anyway, I don't even remember why I got on that tangent. Would you ask me?
Because
we were poisoning. Yes, we were out to eat. See, I have the art of the weave, just like the president.
That's okay.
I don't know that mine's an art. I think mine's ADHD, and I'm just like. But anyway, so we were out looking at houses that last Wednesday, and we went ahead and decided to eat out on our way home instead of coming home and fixing leftovers, and because it was getting so late. And all I had was a salmon salad. But by 11 o'clock that night, I could not get out of the bathroom. It was horrible. It was awful. The salmon seemed okay. It makes me wonder if it wasn't the spinach, because that can hold, E. coli and stuff like that. You're always hearing about them having to take it off the shelves in the store and everything because of that. I don't know what it was, but it hit this girl hard. Yeah. And by Wednesday afternoon, I was much better. But yes, when I messaged Wendy last Wednesday morning, I'm like, I can't do
it. She's like, there's no way.
No. I mean, y'all would have seen me as a streak running to the bathroom back and forth. It would have been horrible. So it was just not happening. So I'm glad to be back. And for those who reached out and said, where are you? Even as early as Wednesday, you melted our hearts.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for missing us.
Yes, that made us feel so good that we were missed. Yeah. And we did think we were going to go back and redo it or go ahead and go live on Saturday. And then we were like, no, we really like our Wednesday format. So we decided to just take a week off and just come back, guns a-blazing today like we're doing. So very excited to be here with you guys. We are going to talk about quite a few natural remedies today, as we always do. I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper into food poisoning, just because I think it's an interesting topic that a lot of people don't know about. And a lot of people call what they have food poisoning, and it's not. So it'll be some interesting information about that. Natural GERD treatments. That's something else we've been working on. And if you don't know what GERD is, that's gastroesophageal reflux disease, otherwise known as bad heartburn, or, things like that.
That's funny because, I did a lot of research yesterday on GERD and herbal remedies. Yeah. It's because of one of our clients is struggling so bad with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also we're going to talk about going through menopause gracefully. One of our listeners asked us to cover this, and it's such a great topic. So many people call it battling menopause. You're not battling anything. You are approaching something that is a normal part of life, and we should treat it that way. And so, how do you get through, that change of life gracefully, and what natural ways can help you get through it? So we're going to talk about all that today. We got a jam-packed. I feel like we should be like Dan Bongino, ring the bell, ding, 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 ding. Here we go.
Maybe we'll find us something. Yeah. I do like Dan's bell.
Yes, he's so funny.
Here lately, he's been doing a lot with the Rock'em Sock'em robots.
Yes, oh my gosh.
And I used to love that game.
Yes, I saw that. He is too much. He's so freaking hilarious. Oh my gosh.
All right. So ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Here we go. So, food poisoning, that's an easy one for us to talk about right out of the gates. It doesn't require a ton of information, but common culprits: bacteria, salmonella, E. coli, listeria, all of these different things can live in your food. The norovirus can be a cause of food poisoning if you're dealing with a situation of somebody having it and not washing their hands. So that's something that can be a major cause of foodborne illness. You hope that when you're going to an establishment that they're doing a good job of washing their hands, but we're not there to police it. We don't
never know. You just never know.
And also parasites are less common, but still relevant, like Giardia. I've never known how to pronounce that properly, but anyway, that is less common, but is still out there.
I never even heard of that one.
Yeah. Raw and undercooked meats are the biggest cause for concern because you're cooking out the bacteria. And I can tell you, as far as like beef, a lot of people say, oh gosh, I want my meat cooked well and all that kind of stuff. Here's the way I've always approached it. My hamburgers, I cook well.
Yeah, me too.
Because the reason for the bacterial the bacterial problems with meat, especially beef, it's all what's on the outside. So when you're dealing with ground meat, all of the bacteria from the raw meat is now all throughout it.
Yeah.
If you are somebody that likes medium or medium rare hamburgers, you're just waiting to get sick. Yeah. I know a girl who used to love the frozen hamburger patties that you got in a box, and she would cook them, I mean, medium rare to rare.
No.
And
no.
loved them like that. And she ended up in kidney failure. She ended up with an E. coli virus, and it shut her kidneys down. And I used to work with her, and she was completely disabled after that. So take that seriously with your ground meats. Now, with your steak, enjoy it medium rare. The bacteria is not in the middle. The bacteria is all on the outside, but you want to make sure you're getting it killed off on the outside. So that is something that that can definitely help. Unwashed produce is a big reason. I am suspecting that it was probably the spinach in my salad. At first I thought it was the salmon, but the salmon really smelled good, tasted good, all of that. And when it's meat, you can generally tell.
Yeah.
I know it was cooked well. Yeah. So I'm leaning more to the spinach being the culprit in my salad. Also, contaminated water and improper food storage. Generally, when you're going to a restaurant, it's not going to be because of contaminated water, because most localities have measures to make sure that their water is not contaminated. Improper food storage is certainly a possibility.
Yeah.
But food handling practices, cross-contamination, can leave food unsafe. If you're already holding on to things that are, like maybe you're preparing chicken and then you don't wash your hands, and then you go and start messing with, with
whatever.
Yeah, with making a salad.
Oh yeah.
That is a huge risk of cross-contamination.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a lot of people, this is the first thing that pops to my mind because I don't get sick often. So, people will ask me, well, you have such a great immune system. How did you get sick? Basically, with foodborne illnesses, with food poisoning, first of all, you will know it's food poisoning because it's going to hit you within 8 hours of eating that food, but it can be 30 minutes.
Yep.
I got food poisoning probably 25 years ago. I will never forget it. I was in a Mexican restaurant, and before we left, I was in the bathroom throwing up. It hit me that hard. This time it took me about 6 hours, maybe a little bit less, but pretty close to that. But anything outside of that 8-hour window, if I were to have woken up in the morning with my, my stomach might have been mad about something I ate, but as far as food poisoning, if it's after 8 hours, that is not the culprit. That's not it. And we used to get people in the ER all the time. Oh, I ate some pizza 2 nights ago, and and then now today I'm vomiting. I think I have food poisoning. I'm like, nope, you don't have food poisoning. That's not it. No. So, but to get back to the boosted immune system, it does make a big difference in severity and length of time you're going to be sick. It does not, this is the one time I will tell you, having a boosted immune system does not help determine whether you're going to get sick from food poisoning. If you're going to get sick from food poisoning, you're going to get sick from food poisoning. You have been contaminated. But because my immune system is so high is why it lasted under 24 hours, why I didn't have it as bad as I could have. I've had it in the past before I was eating healthy, and it was far worse. This was not something I want to repeat, but it was definitely far worse in the past. So don't think that
even a healthy lifestyle doesn't mean that you can't contract the flu.
Of course.
either. You know, it's about with your immune system in the right place, because you live a healthy lifestyle, you bounce back a lot quicker than you would if you weren't.
Yeah.
Because the flu may take you 2 days to get over versus 5 to 7.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it also makes a difference on severity. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been around people that have been sick as a dog
for
and
days.
I get a sniffle and it's annoying. And I'm like, oh, I hate the sniffle, but that's all I got.
Yep.
Meanwhile, my body was able to fight, whether it be, you know, coronavirus.
As soon as I feel a sniffle or a tickle in my throat or just being off, I will start pumping that garlic honey and the natural remedies and all of that. The
fire cider.
Yeah, fire cider, elderberry syrup, you know, the vitamin C, more vitamin C. I will start boosting all of that as soon as I feel something, because it will help just to kind of, it's gone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Gut health is crucial too.
Yes.
You know, 70% of your immune system resides in your gut microbiome. If you are fueling your body, that you're going to see, this is a common theme with Dr. Wendy Sue here. This is my foundation of everything I teach. If you are fueling your body with garbage, it is going to create garbage.
Yep. You
have got to create a good, healthy gut microbiome, and you will have a wonderful immune system. You know, right now,
times this week I've said, just keep sticking with Dr. Wendy's program, and I guarantee you will see improvement with this.
Yes. Yes, it's huge. It really is. You know, right now I'm doing the Sugar Busters program, the 2-week Sugar Busters XL. And it's the biggest theme of all of this is fuel your body well. If you fuel your body well, you don't have to struggle with all of the things that standard American diet eaters struggle with.
That's right.
We just don't have those same illnesses. We don't have the severity of illness. We don't have our body brewing with disease. So it makes a massive, massive difference. And this is no different. Foods like probiotic foods, like fermented foods, like with your apple cider vinegar, yogurt, fermented vegetables, our fire cider, you know, things like that.
Sauerkraut. If you like sauerkraut, it is like one of the easiest things to make yourself.
Yes, sauerkraut, kimchi. I love them, and I really try and get at least a little bit in my gut every single day, and it does. It makes a huge difference, as well as taking a good probiotic. You know, any supplements I'm always skeptical on, and I do a real big dive on all of their other ingredients, because that's where you find so much garbage hidden. But I know that the brands that we take most often in our house is the Ancient Nutrition brand and the Innate Vitality. Both of those I really like. And I can't speak for every one of their products, but their probiotics in particular. I've got Bill on the men's 50 plus probiotic or something like that. And it's great for the Ancient Nutrition. I'm still taking the Innate Vitality, but you know, both are wonderful. Let's see what else. Oh, and immune boosting nutrients. Especially during high viral seasons, not only should you be fueling your body well, but you should be taking zinc picolinate, 30 to 50 milligrams. That is something that that can help you a lot. Don't take more than that, and don't take that with your probiotic. Take your zinc in the morning, take your probiotic at night, because they can be counteractive, and the probiotic can cause the zinc not to work. The zinc can cause the probiotic not to work. So you want to take them opposite ends of the day. High dose vitamin C. You know, when I'm traveling, when I'm getting on an airplane, and I know this time of year somebody's going to be, you know, sitting near me, coughing, sneezing, you know, all the things, I will take high dose vitamin C. If Bill's sick, or you know, anybody that I'm around is sick, when I'm going to be around my little Petri dish grandbabies, you know, I will. I'll start taking 12,000 milligrams
Yep.
a day of vitamin C, you
Yep.
know.
My toddlers always, I mean, they have like 6 months of snot season.
Yes. 6 months. I'm still waiting for that to end. No, it is. You're exactly right, though. It is. It's wild how much they pick up.
Because
But
their immune system is just still building. So
exactly.
it's constant.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's part
Yep.
of life. That's
Yep.
normal. It's
Yep.
absolutely normal. Vitamin D also plays a huge preventative role. A lot of us, especially this time of year, do not get enough vitamin D. Unfortunately, lazy Americans in general don't get enough vitamin D.
Don't go outside enough.
Yeah, because you need to get it from being outside. But if you are north, I always say that latitude right around Charlotte, North Carolina, and further north, you're not going to get enough in the winter.
Nope.
So you need to supplement with vitamin D in the winter. And I'm not a big supplements girl, but this is one time when I really do take that seriously. And I take 5,000 units. I actually was low this year, which blew my mind. So I went a period of taking 5,000 units twice a day. I don't recommend that for everybody, but every once in a while when I have a client that's a little bit low, I'll say, hey, let's do double for 2 weeks,
Just, temporarily boost.
Yeah. Because you don't want to go too high either. And actually, that's something when we're talking about immune system that's important to note. If you get your labs done from any conventional medicine source, which I get it done through functional medicine source, but it's at LabCorp or at Quest. So you're still getting the levels based on functional medicine resources, or excuse me, on conventional medicine resources. It'll tell you that anything under 30 in your vitamin D is too low. We usually look at anything under 50 being too low. Okay. So if you had your vitamin D checked recently and it's 42, great job, but go ahead and try and boost it up a little bit more, because really under 50 is not functioning as well as you should be. Woo! That was way more than I was going to cover on food poisoning. The biggest thing as far as natural treatments, rehydration is key. You've got to rehydrate. You cannot let your body get dehydrated. I realize if you're vomiting, that is not an easy thing. But drink plenty of fluids, and herbal remedies like ginger tea. That saved my life last week, because I was so nauseous, and I would drink ginger tea. I would even have like green tea or something like that, and just put a piece of ginger root in every single cup of tea I made. Oh my gosh. Praise God.
Ginger is amazing.
It is. It is.
Amazing.
Activated charcoal can help to absorb toxins a whole lot quicker.
Yeah.
I made myself a little activated charcoal lemonade last week to hurry up and get it out of my system. And it's really just as easy as, throw in, squeezing a bunch of lemons, water, and activated charcoal. And you only need a little bit, half a teaspoon. And it sounds disgusting. It is actually very flavorful. Activated charcoal has almost like a berry type flavor.
Yes, it does.
And I have a lot of my clients that are working on candida detox use that, because it's fantastic for gut health.
You could if you're feeling really bad and you're a bath person, you could do the Epsom salt with some bentonite clay.
Yes.
You're right.
That's a great
pulls that out.
Great way to detoxify. And also electrolytes. No, you do not need Gatorade. You do not need garbage like that. The best form of electrolyte replacement is coconut water.
Yep.
Get you some natural coconut water. And if you're not a huge coconut water fan, I'm not a fan of just drinking it straight. But you can add fruit to it. You can put it in a smoothie. You can do any of that. It is the best. If you look at it side by side next to a bottle of Gatorade, you will realize that it has better potassium, better sodium, better glucose, all of that. Everything is better replaced with coconut water than it is with that garbage colored, fake water.
With a bunch of chemicals in it.
With a bunch of chemicals in it that we're feeding our kids. It absolutely makes me crazy. And I used to. So no judgment. I mean,
oh my goodness. My youngest son, he had like 15 years of football, and that's a Powerade out the yin yang.
Yep. Yeah. I always had it in a cooler for my son when he was playing baseball, or my daughter when she was playing soccer or anything.
Yep. Same.
Now,
until we knew better.
I was going to say, now we know better, so we do better. But yeah, it's horrible stuff. Slippery elm or marshmallow root tea. I thought about you when I was looking this up, because I was like, there's got to be some natural things, and I didn't have either, so I didn't use them. But
I have slippery elm always on hand, and I always have marshmallow root on hand. I don't tend to go to slippery elm unless it's something that needs really is dire.
Yeah,
it's thick and mucusy.
Gotcha.
So,
well, that makes sense, because it says that it's really good for coating the stomach and for healing the gut microbiome.
It is, but it's one of them things that once you fix it, you don't want to sip it. You just want to get it down and get it done.
Is it earthy?
I don't know, because I still can't get past the texture of the mucousness.
Way too thick to be a tea. Got it.
So marshmallow root tends to be my go-to for just mild things.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier to palate.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the biggest thing that, when you're not going to die of starvation. No. Okay. Don't force yourself to eat until you're ready to eat. You need to hydrate. That's your priority. But when you are ready to add food, go with the brat diet or the bra diet, as I like to tell people, because we don't do gluten. So bananas, rice, applesauce. And then if you have a good, clean bread that is there are some out there, like the Base Culture brand or something, you can do toast. But because brat is for bananas, rice, applesauce, toast. But a lot of times I tell my clients, if you don't have access to Base Culture bread or some other clean one, go with the bra diet. But it makes a big difference as you're easing into getting back to eating regular foods. I eat very little rice on a normal basis. For a couple days after I'm coming off of something like this, I'm a rice fiend, because that's the only thing my gut seems to be able to tolerate. Not slathered in butter and all that kind of stuff, just a little salt and pepper, but it will really help. Avoid dairy, for heaven's sakes. Avoid dairy whenever you're sick like that.
Yeah, because that will mess your stomach up more. Yeah.
So do you have anything else to add to the food poisoning, or are you ready to jump into GERD? Because that was way more than I intended to talk about food poisoning. You know me, I could just keep rolling.
No, I love it, because, it's like, I think it's good for people to know how to handle different situations naturally, because we don't always have to run to the doctor, and because we're not anti-medicine.
No.
Well, we believe that it has its place, and like Wendy always says, if it's trauma or an emergency, we got the best medical system ever.
We have the best, no doubt.
But with just regular sicknesses and things like that, it can be done at home.
Yes, and the problem is we've become a society of go to the doctor, give me a pill. There is no pill to help you with food. With food poisoning. There isn't. You can get things to help manage your symptoms. Yes, you could take some Zofran. You could do something to slow down your diarrhea or something. Don't do that. Nope. You want the stuff to get out of your system. You don't want to suppress it. Let nature take its course. If your body, after eating something, if you all of a sudden have massive diarrhea, you need that. You need to get those toxins out of your system as quickly as possible. Your body is rejecting something. So
and your body knows what to do. That's why it's It's getting rid of it.
Yes. And that is why, I mean, when people go and rush to the ER or to the doctor to get a pill immediately upon the start of any kind of symptoms, you are actually stopping your body's natural ability to cure yourself and to cure itself. And so, yes, in emergencies and traumas, don't ever
hesitate.
That's
right. Don't hesitate.
But my goodness, there's so much you can manage at home. Much you can manage at home. I actually saw a Facebook friend of mine. I have no idea who she is. I'm Facebook friends with 5,000 people. And she posted a picture of 17 medicines that her doctor has prescribed her, all unopened. She hasn't opened a one in the last 6 months. And she did it last 3 months. She did it as a visual to show people that she had made the decision to eat naturally and to start to stop assuming that these pills were going to fix everything. She was talking about how she never paid attention to this stuff until she started hearing the Mean siblings and RFK Jr. talking about how much money the pharmaceutical companies are making and how much the doctors are getting kickbacks and all these incentives to promote these medicines. And so she said, you know what? I'm going to see what happens if I just eat naturally, like they're talking about, and I don't take any of these medicines. She's better than she ever was with all of the things that they prescribed her 3 months later without ever having to open up one of those pills. 17 medicines.
I have a whole cabinet in my bathroom of prescribed pills for my husband during his cancer treatments that he never took. Yeah. Never took.
Oh,
I'm like, what am I going to do with all this stuff? I got to wait for one of those drug drop-off days or something.
Yeah. I haven't been very vocal about this, but a lot of people don't realize how much we're battling with Bill's health right now, my husband's. And it's because we went ahead and trusted. We were in between a rock and a hard place the first half of the year last year.
Yeah.
They discovered that his rheumatoid arthritis drugs were what caused his cancer and were causing rapid tumor growth, even though it was a benign tumor that was coming back, but it still was causing a ridiculously rapid tumor growth. Like I could literally almost watch it happen day by day. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it. Wow. So they had to take him off of his rheumatoid arthritis medicines, which he was already on a low dose because we have so much of it managed with food. But he's a plumber, so he's constantly twisting, his wrists and everything, and he would come home inflamed. So the only thing that they could do for him was put him on steroids. Well, we now know that steroids, we were told, oh, it's just going to be 6 months till we can get him, his surgery and get him approved for this other stuff. And in that 6 to 8 month window of him being on the high dose steroids, his triglycerides went up to over 1,700. He never had a problem with his triglycerides.
Wow.
His cholesterol, and this man's never had any kind of cardiac issues at all. Cholesterol went to over 300.
Wow.
He's now dealing with, just uncomfortable symptoms like dandruff, things like that he never had to deal with before. Just the most bizarre stuff. And now, his pain is better because they've got it managed with the new medication, with the infusion that they're doing every 6 months. But I mean, that one pill has done so much to destroy his body.
It has wreaked havoc. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. When you see the commercials on TV,
and they're dancing, and they're having a good old time.
Listen to when they're listing the possible side effects. That is because people have had those side effects.
Yep.
And at the end, when they say, and possible death, that means somebody has died from taking that.
Yes. Yeah. They don't just throw that out there for a just in case. This is really stuff that's happened.
So when your doctor gives you a prescription, my hope is everybody's researching those prescriptions and the side effects as much as they do when I give them a herbal recommendation.
Oh, girl. You telling. We will have people at us like, I'm sorry, is that natural? Is that healthy? Is that herb, that tea you're recommending, is that dangerous? I promise you not as dangerous as Ozempic. 100% guaranteed. I mean, and nobody wants to research that. They just want to take these doctors at their word and these crazy companies that are making buku bucks as they're throwing all these pills at you. Oh my gosh, girl.
You know what? I was so upset last night because I was having a conversation with a young lady who was talking to her doctor about going on one of those drugs. And I'm like, I wish you would really take a little dive into those things and the studies and what they're showing short term, and they don't know long term yet. I said, it's not good. So I was telling her what I knew about them and all like that. And she's like, Wendy, I really don't care. I'm tired of being fat. I find that
makes me want to puke.
Heart so very much, because there's a way to do it naturally and without any side effects. And you won't be fat anymore.
You won't be fat anymore, and you're going to age well.
Good. Yes, and you'll feel good because she's very young, and she's probably 20 pounds overweight. She's not morbidly obese or anything.
It's sad the way we have gone in our society and how that is the norm. I have seen so many people celebrating, these horrible poisonous drugs, and
people don't care. They want the quick fix where they don't have to do anything.
They have no idea what they're doing to themselves. Yep. No idea. And the thing is that even the long-term studies they do have that are testing people that have been on it for 3 years are terrifying.
Horrible.
The amount of people that have completely shut down their thyroids, the amount of people who now have just completely shut down the peristalsis in their gut. Yep. They have gastroparesis. They have thyroid cancer. They have pancreatitis. This is 3 years is all they're testing. And what people don't realize is it's lifelong commitment. If you want the results, you have to be on it for the rest of your life. I am not willing to shorten my life by 20 or 30 years for a little bit of vanity today. That is the most horrible thing ever. And
when you can do it naturally with
no, it's horrible. Horrible. And I know we've talked about this at length with other, on other episodes, but so much comes back to this. Yes, it's the quick fix mentality of Americans, and we are killing ourselves because of it. Yep. There is nothing that I need that fast. And I'm an impatient person. Let me tell you something. I've been reminded how impatient I am in this house hunt. Okay. Everybody that is close to me is getting a play-by-play every single stinking day, including Wendy, every single daggone day of what we're approved for, what we're not approved for, what house is good, what house isn't good, all this stuff. I am a complete wreck when it comes to having to be patient for the right thing to come along. So I get the world of impatience.
I do too.
I don't get it at the expense of your health.
No.
And at the expense of having the option, quite honestly, and I'm sorry, I wasn't going to go here. It reminds me of the same people who refuse to have common sense and look at what is happening in the government.
Yeah.
I don't care who you support. Do not care.
Nope.
What I care is that you pay attention to what is actually happening in front of you and not listening to sound bites from biased people. It's the same thing with this crap. You're watching people dancing on a WOWW commercial and thinking, oh, wow, they lost 42 pounds. But what is going to happen to them after that?
That's right.
After their little dance and their money that they made on their commercial, they are going to be sick and they aren't going to be able to keep the weight off naturally. They are going to gain it all back. And it's disgusting what's happening. It's disgusting.
Because it's not teaching, it's being on those things, just not teaching them how to have a healthy lifestyle. It's teaching them that they can still do what they want to do and add to their sickness.
Yep.
To me, they're just adding more problems.
They are creating lifelong patients.
Yes.
And not just for their own drug that is going to have to be a lifelong medication, but all the other things that it's going to create
will come along with it. Yes.
I mean, what better? We got them on Ozempic or Wegovy for life. And now guess what? Now it's going to create, pancreatitis.
This, and this. So now we have medicines from the same companies that take care of symptoms for this, and this.
It's
vicious cycle.
It's sick. It's sick that this is even allowed, and why I'm so excited about RFK.
I know, right?
That he can get all of this brought to light. So let's talk about GERD.
Okay, GERD.
GERD is gastroesophageal reflux disease. It's what happens when acid from your stomach flows back up into your esophagus. Gets very uncomfortable. A lot of us, if you eat a whole lot at one time, you will get this at some point in your life. That does not mean you have GERD. It means you probably overdid it for a meal. But
or you ate too fast, or you rushed, or something just didn't set right. A lot of things can cause it.
Right. But people who have this chronically, their doctor's answer is always go on Pepcid, go on Prilosec, go on Nexium, go on one of these medications. I am here to tell you that 100% of the people who have followed what I teach in my long-term programs have come off of these medications. 100% of them, because what you eat matters.
Yep.
It will your gut will heal, and then you won't get all of that acid reflux. You need to find out what your inflammatory food triggers are. It's one of the reasons I test people on potential inflammatory foods. We do trigger food testing, because while, yes, we can do a really great detox and get you feeling better, maybe dairy doesn't sit so well with you. Maybe nuts don't sit so well with you. So we test people on
eggs. Maybe it's it could be something even healthy.
Yeah.
That is triggering you.
Yeah. Everything I test people on are otherwise healthy foods, because there are things I would like to add back to their diet, but it doesn't fly with everybody. But if you find out what your triggers are and then avoid them, guess what? You don't have reflux anymore. Your gut is healed. You can come off of those medications. And I'm telling you, I've worked with people that have been on something like Prilosec, Nexium, something like that for 20 or 30 years. And don't believe it's going to happen for them. And 2-3 weeks into the program, they start taking themselves off of it, because they're like, wait a minute, I'm not having any symptoms. Then they realize they don't need it anymore. It's incredible. So dietary changes are huge. Also, there's trigger foods in like for a lot of people, caffeine, alcohol, spicy foods, citrus, tomatoes. So just know what your triggers are. Eat smaller meals if you find that it's every time you eat.
Chew. Be conscious about chewing longer, slowing down.
Yep. Mindful eating is I've shared before. That's something I'm working on this year, is to actually, and I'm not great about it, I can tell you.
I feel like I'm always in a rush, so I need to hurry.
But to actually enjoy each bite. Put your food, your spoon or your fork down in between each bite. Mindfully eat and pay attention to your body.
Drink a big glass of water before you sit down to eat.
Yes, that's huge. Also, alkaline foods. Wendy and I talk about acidic versus alkaline foods a lot, because alkaline foods are so good at preventing disease. But alkaline foods are going to be more your leafy greens, cucumbers, melons. You want to avoid the acidic foods, all processed foods, all added sugar. The only thing in the lifestyle that I teach that is acidic is animal products. And if you're not overdoing them, because you're not ever going to hear me say, unlimited amounts of protein, unlimited amounts of meat. That's not good for your body either.
Right.
But if you're having a reasonable amount of animal protein in your diet every day, you're fine. But all the other foods that you're eating, when you're avoiding the processed foods, when you're eating the high fiber vegetables and all of that, is going to be a more alkaline diet.
Yeah.
So it happens by nature that way.
Right. That's right.
Also, my hope is that you will learn to not eat 3 hours before bedtime.
Yeah.
This is not just for reflux. This is for your insulin and glucagon balance to improve. This is for your metabolism. This is for so many things, that for your sleep, to have better sleep. But this also really helps people with reflux. If you don't lay down for 3 hours after you eat, you're going to be a whole lot better off.
Yeah, because if you can, the longer that you can be in an upright position with good posture after you eat, the better.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are natural remedies. You don't have to run to Prilosec or one of those. I was reading a study last week for the same client that you're working with, because I wanted to see what could I encourage her, because I'm not a big supplements person, and I know you focus more with our clients on the the herbs and teas
natural.
and things like that, natural. So, but in this one case, I would recommend a turmeric supplement, because they proved that if you take a good turmeric supplement, and I take it anyway for my joints, but in the morning and at night, I like 2 capsules in the morning, 2 capsules at night. This study showed that for 28 days that they got the exact same results as they did with taking Prilosec.
Yeah.
If not better.
Yep.
So get rid of the synthetic crap and start taking turmeric if you really are battling that.
That was so funny too, because my recommendation was to up her turmeric, and she told me she got the supplement. I'm like, then you're good. You're covered.
Yeah. And you can do that. You can just put turmeric root in your tea. You can do all kinds of stuff. That will help too. I mean, what better than to put turmeric and ginger for your gut health into
any tea. You can put a piece of each in your, and a lot of people, I recommend that. Always have ginger, always have turmeric. Put them in any tea that you want. The ginger will change the flavor. The turmeric really doesn't change the flavor of a tea.
Just the color.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And if you're using natural turmeric or like that, if you're putting turmeric root in something, add a few black peppercorns.
Yep.
Because that will help the absorption of the turmeric in your system.
Or if you have the cayenne pepper tincture, a couple drops of that.
Bingo.
That's what I've been doing. I've been putting because I put a piece of freeze-dried turmeric and a piece of freeze-dried ginger in my first big cup every morning. And that's what I've been doing. 5 drops of the cayenne pepper tincture.
Yeah.
Because the pepper activates the turmeric for you to be able to absorb it better.
Yeah. Natural aloe juice too. It's very good for coating your esophagus. It is very important that you find the natural stuff. You can get big old jugs of it at Trader Joe's.
It's not expensive.
It's not. I just bought some, and it's amazing how many brands have so much added junk. I don't know why I'm surprised. But
it's everything.
I know. I bought that as an ingredient that I'm going to use for Bill's new dandruff treatment. We'll talk about that later. Also, we just talked about how disgusting slippery elm tea. That's actually that's actually good too. Forms a protective coating over the esophagus with all of its mucousness.
You just want to get it down quick. Just get it down and done.
And then again, just like we talked about, probiotics are great for gut balance, to help balance your microbiome and reduce your GERD flare-ups over time. So
what also helps too is deep breathing exercise.
That makes sense.
If you're sitting up straight, you're going to take one hand and put it under your ribs. And so it's kind of like your belly area, and you want to put one hand on your chest. Take a nice deep breath through the nose. You'll feel your belly rise. And then you're going to purse your lips almost like a silent whistle and blow out through the mouth. All the way till your hand goes down on the belly. And do that 3 to 10 times. And make sure you're sitting up straight when you do it. Do that a few times a day and see what happens.
Nice.
Yeah, because that naturally kind of resets things and moves things.
Cool. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. So the biggest topic we're going to talk about, you know what? We didn't meet last week, so we'll just keep on rolling. Because here we are 55 minutes in and we haven't even touched it yet, but we're not going to put it off. We're going to do it. We can always expand on it more next week if we want.
That's right.
But first of all, let's talk about menopause and how we can manage it naturally and gracefully. Menopause, obvious definition. It's the natural cessation of menstrual cycles. Usually hits most of us between ages 45 and 55. Hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, weight gain, brain fog, all of these things can go along with it. A natural approach is so powerful because oftentimes medications, like I get so many questions from women about HRT, about hormone replacement therapy. They don't work for everybody and they come with risks, just like what we talked about. You know, you get put on a pill, what is it going to cause that you're going to end up needing to go on another pill for? Right. So I do not recommend HRT unless you absolutely have no other choice. But what do you think people did forever as they were, you know, nearing menopause? They were not having the struggles we do today. And why is that? It's because of how horribly we fuel our bodies.
Yep.
Embracing natural solutions allows for better long-term effects, long-term health, and reduced side effects.
Yep.
I have worked with so many women to discover what their trigger foods are that are causing their hot flashes. And I'll be the first to tell you, when I started down the path 5 years ago of testing trigger foods, I never believed that one of those results was going to be ending hot flashes. I never knew that was coming. Right. And it happens all the time. I work with a lot of women my age. You know, that's a pretty common age for people to come to me. I'm 50, so I'm right in that window. And I can't tell you how many women I work with in my age bracket. They're like, oh my gosh, I just ate, you know, nightshade vegetables. I was testing nightshade vegetables. I hadn't had a hot flash. Didn't hit them that they didn't have a hot flash for 2 weeks when we were detoxing them. All of a sudden they eat, you know, peppers or something like that and get massive hot flash again. And I said, it's an inflammatory trigger causing your hot flashes. So when you come to know that, you know, my sister's one that when we tested her, she was having massive hot flashes to the point of having to change her clothes. I mean, like she would get them bad and multiple a day. And now she never gets them. It is so rare when she gets one. And it's usually when she goes out to eat and doesn't have control over all the ingredients going in her food. I mean, it's incredible.
Now, would that be something that once you're through menopause that you might be able to eat again without having the trigger?
Possibly. If it doesn't cause you other inflammatory triggers. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, totally possible. Because, you know, 80-year-old women are not still having menopausal symptoms.
Right.
You know,
right.
So yes, I absolutely agree that if you love the food that causes it,
right.
Now you know, and that's the thing. I always
have to choose whether it's worth it or not.
That's the most beautiful thing about what I teach and about the trigger food testing is I don't tell a single soul, well, that's it. You can't ever have dairy again. No, you now know what dairy does to you. Right. Now you have the control over dairy and you can make the decision. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Sometimes your answer might be yes. A lot of times your answer is going to be no because now you know. And that's exactly this. You know, my sister or whoever else, I've worked with a lot of people that have gone through this, might decide, you know what, I really want this food, but I'm not going to eat it when I'm out at a restaurant and I'm going to burst into, you know, a massive hot flash. I'm going to eat it at home where I can have control over that.
Yep.
So, you know, it's so good to be able to do the natural remedies and just knowing how to fuel your body properly. There are hormone balancing foods. Phytoestrogens like flaxseed, chickpeas, they help balance estrogen levels. Nice. So if you're somebody who makes smoothies every day, throw flaxseed in there. You know, make hummus to have to dip your vegetables in with the chickpeas. Have chickpea pasta instead of brown rice pasta. I'm never going to recommend a gluten pasta, but there's so many different options out there. Go for the chickpea pasta.
Yeah.
Also,
pretty good too. I like the chickpea pasta better than the brown rice pasta.
I do too. So does Bill. That's the one in this house that when I fix the chickpea pasta, there's a couple of them he's okay with, but he always says that the chickpea pasta to him is the most like pasta, like gluten pastas. So you also want to avoid inflammatory foods like we just talked about. Certainly if something's causing you inflammation, but eating specific anti-inflammatory foods that are known to be anti-inflammatory for everybody, fatty fish, that's a big one. Turmeric and ginger, we just talked about that. They're great for this. Leafy greens, all of these reduce inflammation and help your overall well-being. Healthy fats. What do you think my favorite is?
Avocado.
That is what everybody knows is my answer to everything. Well, here you go.
I had someone ask me last night, whose bag is this with the avocado in it? I was like, that'd be me.
The world's best superfood. I love it. That's my answer for everything. Other healthy fats like nuts, seeds, olive oil, avocado oil, coconut, all of those are great. And you want to avoid sugar and refined carbs and all processed foods. This is why so many women feel like they're battling menopause, because they're battling inflammatory responses to how poorly they are eating.
That's right.
So when you get rid of that junk out of your diet, you are going to find that it is not at all a battle. I can tell you right now, I'm in that stage, way personal here, where I have no idea when my period is coming again. If it ever will again, all of a sudden it'll show up and it's been a few months and it's like, oh, well, hey,
here I am.
Yeah. So I'm right in the thick of it, y'all. And so I get it. I don't have one symptom, not one. And I'm not exaggerating, other than the fact that I just have no clue. I can't set a clock to what the heck is happening in my body anymore, but that's normal.
Yeah.
I have not one symptom at 50 years old. And I can tell you, I remember my mama didn't have them terrible, but I can remember when she would have hot flashes and I would think she was weird because it was January and she's in shorts and a tank top and throwing the window open,
My poor mama went through that for like 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. But I knock on wood, 0 symptoms for me.
For me, it's a little different because I had an endometrial ablation when I was 27. So I haven't had a period since then, but I still have the symptoms of that time of the month.
Yeah.
But since the actual period stopped, I stopped paying attention to the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I used to have like night sweats. So I don't know if that was the start of my menopause or not. Yeah. I don't have them anymore. So I don't even think about it. You know what I mean? So
no, absolutely.
Who knows?
Absolutely. Some supplements that people can use to help with this. I've used the evening primrose oil at night. That's something
evening primrose is one of the best things that you can take at night.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been very helpful. The black cohosh.
Yes.
That's another one. It reduces hot flashes and night sweats. My recommendation though is clean up your diet first. And you may find you don't need any of these.
You don't even need, if you clean up the diet, you don't even need those typically.
I started taking, before I realized about the thyroid attack on my, we've talked about this in the past, the autoimmune attack on my thyroid that I discovered because of the functional health labs. Prior to that, me not knowing what the heck was happening with some other symptoms I was having, I thought, okay, well, maybe this is part of, as I'm coming into menopause. And I started taking the evening primrose. So even that I'm phasing out because I'm finding now, my issues were more thyroid related and not hormone. Maca root, that supports energy, mood, and libido, because that's something that we can suffer with, is reduced libido this time of year. This time of our life. Magnesium, I always recommend magnesium for sleep. You don't need to take, Benadryl. You don't need to take, Ambien and all these other things that are going to cause you other trouble. Magnesium is wonderful for this. It's a smooth muscle relaxer, but you want to take the right kind. You want to take magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate. Remag is a good brand of liquid magnesium. It's a picollinated magnesium that you can take, but I don't even take that. I take the Innate Vitality, again, is the brand that I typically use. There's other good ones. Ocean's Organic is a good one. But I'll take magnesium at night, and it helps with sleep for sure. Omega-3s, fatty acids. So taking krill oil, that helps with your brain function if you're finding you're having brain fog during this season of your life. And it also helps to reduce inflammation. I'm a big fan of krill oil over any of the others. And if you, again, so many of them have so much garbage added to them. The brand I'm using for me and Bill right now is called Micro Ingredients. It comes in a bag. And we take the krill oil twice a day, and it's wonderful for so many things. It's great if you have elevated triglycerides and cholesterol. That's why I've got him on it.
All right.
And then the last thing for that is vitamin D. We already talked about vitamin D, but it's essential for bone health and for mood stabilization.
Yes, it is.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of lifestyle adjustments, exercise. I can't stress this enough, y'all.
Movement's so important.
I never realized how much more important it is at our age now and older than it even was in our 20s. You know, you think you're going to the gym, you're trying to look cute in your bathing suit, you're trying to do all the things. That is absolutely not the time. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Please, if you're in your 20s, go to the gym, get your exercise in. If you're 50 and you're not exercising regularly, figure it out. Get it worked on. Get it worked into your life. Because
even just plain walking.
Yes.
Keeping your legs and your core strong is going to be vital to getting older.
Yes. And the older you get, the more resistance training you need. This doesn't mean you need to be over there, bench pressing your body weight or anything like that. You need to add resistance training, because that, not taking calcium supplements, that is the best thing for your bone health. You need the exercise and the resistance training. So it's so key. Weight bearing exercises.
Yes.
Walking, yoga, resistance training. Those are going to be your best
mains.
Yes, you've got to do that. Sleep. How many times have we talked about this?
Lots.
Wendy and I have had for decades the "I'll sleep when I'm dead" attitude. And we're both recognizing that has been a very big flawed thought process in our lives. So this is something that I'm working on heavily right now. I am taking my sleep routine at night so seriously. I wake up every morning ready to check my Fitbit. How much deep sleep did I get last night? Did I hit my 7 hours? And the more I'm doing this, the better I'm getting at it. And I'm so grateful. Because
your body's never too old to train.
Oh, and I am in deep training on this sleep. It's so funny, because if you would have told me that I would consistently get 7 hours of sleep, 7 to 8 hours.
That's crazy.
I would have never believed you, because I've spent a lifetime, my entire adult life. I know I have spent at an average of 5 to 6.
Yep. Mine was always right at 6.
And now, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it blows my mind how many mornings my husband's kissing me as he's going to work. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm usually up 2 hours before you. What is happening? It's great. It's great.
That's nice, right?
Yeah. Also, a lot of people talk about getting hot flashes at night, the night sweats and things like that. You definitely want to encourage good quality sleep, avoiding the screen time before bed, but cut your temperature down in your house.
Yes.
Colder is better for sleeping.
Yes, we are big on making our house crazy hot all during the day. This time of year, we can't stand being cold. So we might keep it at 74, 75 degrees during the day. But at night, it goes 68 to 70.
Yep.
And, that's even high for some people. But for us, it's freezing.
Mine's a constant 69, but we do bump it down to 67 right before bed.
Yeah.
Because we sleep so much better.
Oh, yeah. It makes a huge difference. As a matter of fact, the nights that I toss and turn, a lot of times I don't think about it because I'm kind of half in and out.
Right.
Then all of a sudden it'll hit me and I'll go and I'll check and I'm like, dang on it. It's still on 74. It didn't get turned down. So I'll cut it down to 70 or 69 or something like that. And I will go back to sleep and I'll sleep like a baby.
Yep.
So,
it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Stress reduction, mindfulness, meditation, deep breathing exercises, guided prayer, reducing your cortisol levels and improving mood swings are the results you'll get out of this. There's so many studies. We've talked about this before on
there's no pill for stress.
No. I don't care what your doctor is throwing at you.
Yeah,
You
there's
need
no pill for stress.
No, there's not. You need to focus on what you can do to remove the stress on your own. And let me tell y'all something. I live a naturally very stressful life, not because of, crazy marriage or anything like that, like I have in my past. Like, life is good, but I'm a high capacity person. I'm constantly like, okay, what's on my to-do list? What do I got to do? And all this. And so I live internally with what I feel like is way more stress that I put on myself than I need to.
Right.
So I anticipated when I did my function health labs that my cortisol was going to be through the roof. It's perfect. It's low. And I was like, whoa, the only answer to that is how I eat and my morning and evening guided prayer routine.
Spiritual practices will bring down stress naturally.
I give it all to him and I start my day that way. I do it throughout the day. I end my day with that. And there's been so much proof that if you spend time in the first 30 minutes of your day and the last 30 minutes of your day in gratitude, in meditation, in guided prayer, that your cortisol spikes are minimal.
Yeah. So. And your stress levels naturally go down because of that, because you gain a sense of peace.
Yeah.
That you can't get from anything else.
The peace that passes all understanding.
That's right.
From Christ alone.
That's right.
That's how it is. There's no other way to describe it.
If you don't believe us, try it out and let us know.
I love to share this story of, and Bill loves to share it too. And this is totally going off topic, but well,
that's okay.
We do the
rigid flexibility. Rigid
flexibility.
Art of the weave.
We're coming back. We're the art of the weave. When Bill first was diagnosed with cancer, he was Christian, but he wasn't as he was a brand new baby Christian, and he didn't really understand the term. And this is the way he'll explain it to anybody: give it to God. He never understood that. I watched the most beautiful transition of somebody who was freaking out for obvious reasons. You're told you have cancer and you don't know what the heck that's going to do to you. And he literally went off for a drive. And it was the most beautiful change, even in his face. Like, how they talk about how in the Bible it talks about when Moses came down from Mount Sinai and his face was glowing. I am telling you, I witnessed it in my husband. I saw his glowing face.
I just got chills.
Oh my gosh. It was the most beautiful transition I've ever witnessed. And I said, baby, are you okay? He said, I actually am. He said, I now get it. He said, I just experienced the peace that passes all understanding that you keep talking about. And I've never understood because I just gave all this cancer to God. I asked him to take it from me because I knew I wasn't strong enough to handle it. And I cried, but it was a visible, palpable difference. And that man worked through his treatments like a champ and never showed any signs of stress, never showed any, I mean, it was incredible. It was incredible.
Rick amazed me through his process too, because, even in the hospital before the transplant, they all kept telling him how sick he was going to be.
Yeah.
And he just would not accept it. He would not accept that
That's
he
awesome.
was going to be sick.
Yeah.
And the doctors left and we were talking and he's like, this is not my fight.
Yeah.
And I don't have to accept what they're telling me because I know who's got control over it.
Praise
and I was
God.
like, right. And he said, I'm going to allow my body one day to not feel good while I'm here. He was there 20 days.
Yeah.
One day he stayed in the bed. And that was just because he was mad because they weren't going to let him go home.
I remember that. I remember the picture you sent me of him with the cover over his head.
Over his head, he was mad. He was. He felt fine the entire time he was in there, and he was so mad that he had to stay there.
Yeah.
Never accept what someone's telling you is going to happen to you.
No, you don't have to.
That's between you. That's between you and God. Nobody knows. I don't care what the diagnosis is. I don't care what the prognosis is. I don't care what the experts are saying. If you don't want to accept it for you, then don't.
The doctors were blown away with Bill's recovery, how quickly he recovered.
Yes.
And how, we went to Key West, you and me and Rick and him and met several of our friends down there, but you all were part of our caravan that went down and spent, how long did we spend? Did we go 4 days? It took us 5.
Yeah, we took 4 days to get there.
Because we knew he couldn't handle but so much on the road. So we were stopping every 4 or 5 hours and staying. And the difference in him from when we left and when we got back.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
He was a healed man. But the thing is that most people who battled cancer couldn't have even considered taking that trip.
Yep.
And he was in such good shape. And the doctors all said, it's because of the way you fed him, Wendy. They did. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back.
No, because everybody needs to know this, because, what they were telling Rick and I was it would be a minimum of 18 months before his numbers would be to the place where he needed the transplant. Well, we did that in 3 months.
Isn't that amazing? And he was eating like a rock star then. Yeah. Yeah. So it is. It's. Yep.
There's so many things that you can heal and take care of just by food.
And just while we're already talking about cancer, if you are listening to this and you've been given a cancer diagnosis, we didn't have this knowledge when Bill had it. I want you to contact believebig.org. We support them. We have gotten to be good friends with the founders. Great
organization.
Oh my goodness. What they can do for people, and they do complementary treatments for people with cancer. They don't tell you don't go through the conventional treatments, but they have complementary alternatives that are fantastic. Yeah. And I've watched, Wendy and I've been to the benefit dinners that they have, and heard the stories of the people that were written off with stage 4 cancers that have completely been healed.
Yep.
And
it's amazing.
It is. So please, if you have it, Eva-Lise Page is the one that wrote the foreword for my books. I have such a love for her. She's so amazing, and what she's overcome. She's had cancer twice, and the first time she was given an 8% chance to live. Yeah. And because of how she came through this with mistletoe therapy, what was it now? 12 years ago, I guess. Yeah. That's when they started the foundation, and it's incredible what they're doing. So please, totally was unplanned to promote them, but I know a lot of you out there that listen to us are fighting your own battles. And if one of them is cancer, do not put that off. Call them. Yeah. And
don't accept that this is it.
Yeah.
Don't allow doctors or anyone to tell you how it's going to be.
No, you make the choice.
Because when we hear things and we take it in and we accept it as truth, guess what will happen?
It becomes
Your
true.
body and your spirit and your mind are going to act like that is true.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we are hearing that we should not be accepting for ourselves.
The biology of belief is real.
Yes, it is.
That was that was a wonderful eye-opening class that I took in my doctorate training. Who was it? Bruce Upton. Anyway, look up the biology of belief. Fantastic guy. This dude used to be a high-ranking professor at University of Virginia, and now he's all holistic. He was a biology professor. Nice. And he started recognizing that, little things like when you talk to plants, this one heals, this one doesn't. He was even speaking belief into petri dishes of different things that they were growing and noticing a difference. Also, Joe Dispenza.
Yeah, Dispenza. I love him.
He's another one that healed a fractured spine, was told he would never walk again, and healed a fractured spine by believing it could happen. And I am convinced, after studying both of these guys, I'm convinced that that's why I healed so well from my 13 fractures when I had the accident.
Because you don't accept it. You don't accept what they're telling you. You believe that you can heal yourself.
I guess one of the benefits of being 19 and dumb, I'm not saying all 19-year-olds are dumb. Naive. I didn't understand that was my future. Like there was nothing negative in my future. Right. I just needed to get these stupid broken bones patched up and move on with my life.
Yep.
What freaked me out was a year later, I'm going back for my follow-ups. And I remember I ran into one of the, what do they call them? Not attendings. The ones in school, residents.
Okay.
I ran into one of the residents who had followed my case at the time. And I remembered him from coming in and seeing me at the hospital. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks after my accident. And he sat down and he looked me dead in the eye. He said, "Do you realize that the trauma alone should have killed you?"
Right.
Your body's response to the trauma alone should have killed you. He said, and here you are walking into my office when we told you may never walk again. I said, I never accepted. I was a mom of 2 young babies at the time.
That was an option.
No, my kids were 7 months and 23 months at the time. And there was absolutely nothing that anybody was going to tell me other than you're going to be alive and well to take care of those babies. I never even, I'm so grateful that they didn't tell me then. They did say things like, you're never going to walk again. And so, or you may never walk again. And I was like, we'll see about that. So I was stubborn in that, but I'm glad that nobody told me that I could die. I'm glad that nobody told me that my trauma was so severe that my body might not survive just the repair that it had to do on my system, because no one ever mentioned that to me. And to hear that a year later, I was like, well, here I am, alive and well.
That's right.
And I'm going to keep on going. And I'm convinced.
There's that quote out there. It's like, if you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. And with the hypnotherapy, a lot of that, I see a lot of that. Mm-hmm. Things that people will hear at a very young age and they take it to heart and they carry it their whole lives with them. And it's not even true.
No.
Just accepted what they heard.
Yeah.
And the subconscious holds it in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy to heal yourself.
That's why mental abuse to me is so much worse than physical abuse in many cases. I'm not saying there's anything good about physical abuse. There's not. Oh, but I can tell you, with what I went through in my past, and I won't be specific to protect those that don't need to hear all of that, but
tell me to laugh.
I know, but what I used to beg for this person to punch me, because then I would have a picture. you know, not to him, but to myself. I'm just like, oh my gosh, if you would just punch me and I had a black eye, I'd have a picture.
Then you have physical evidence,
right? But when
of how you were hurting,
right? When you're going through mental abuse and you're made to feel like you're crazy because of what you're going through, there's no picture you can put on it.
No.
And you will carry that trauma with you for a very long time. You know, I drive Bill crazy now because I'm forever, you know, apologizing for things. And he's like,
stop it.
I'm going to need you to stop. Like, I don't care. You're not talking to the same dude, babe. You know, this is, you don't have to apologize for anything. No, it does. It runs deep. But to get back to our point, you believe what you are told about yourself, and you need to be the one setting that belief.
That's right.
You know, don't let anybody else tell you who or what you will do, including your doctors.
That's right. Because I'm going to tell you what, God made you perfectly.
We are perfectly and wonderfully made, baby.
Yep.
From
he made our bodies perfectly too. So if you're putting the right things in your body's working at perfectly.
Yep. Exactly. And that's why it's such a massive difference in me at 50 and me at 35, because I was torturing my body.
Right.
I had no idea I was a nurse, thought I knew about all about being healthy. I was torturing my body with poor, crap I was putting in myself and putting myself in unnecessarily stressful situations and, drinking alcohol and all the things that I used to do in excess, living a life of excess.
Yeah.
No more.
That's right.
No more. The only thing I have excess of now is Jesus. And I can promise you, he ain't steering me wrong at all.
The gaining wisdom is the one great thing about aging.
It is. What a blessing. And how painful is it when we have adult children? Luckily, a lot of times they do listen, but there's things I have to watch them go through. And I'm like, I just want to wring your neck, get you to recognize that this is not good, but they got to go through it too. They got to go through it too, so that when they're 50, they're talking to people about, okay, don't do what I did, but
because we listen and we don't
judge.
I say that to myself a lot when I'm talking to my children.
Yes. So the last couple of things to mention about menopause, approaching menopause with grace. There are some herbal remedies and teas.
Yeah.
I've got, and you may have some others to add to it. I've got red clover, which is rich in the phytoestrogens to ease hot flashes.
Red clover is awesome.
Yes. Ashwagandha. We talk about ashwagandha all the time. I can't.
No, you can grow ashwagandha, even though it's a tropical plant. It will grow as an annual.
Will it?
Yes, it will. And a lot of people don't want to go through the whole process because you got to let it grow and then you got to dig it up because what you want is the roots.
Yeah. Oh,
yes, ashwagandha is amazing on so many different levels.
And I believe that's probably one of the reasons why my cortisol levels are so good, because not an evening goes by that I don't have ashwagandha tea. Yeah. And it is known for reducing your cortisol levels and reducing your stress. It's a wonderful adaptogen. I cannot recommend it enough. If you're somebody who's very high strung too, taking it during the morning, and you can do supplements, but I always prefer the teas. Yeah. Drinking it in the morning will just kind of
enough, unless you've got massive anxiety.
Yeah.
The tea is enough.
Yeah. And it will help level you out during the day. I don't choose to take it in the morning because I'm too focused on my green tea and all that kind of stuff early in the day. But in the evening, I'm finishing off with my ashwagandha and it will help me at night. But I have plenty of clients that I've worked with that when they are like super high stress, I have them or high anxiety, I have them do ashwagandha early in the day too, and it seems to help them a lot.
And you can turn it into a massive powerhouse by mixing ashwagandha and tulsi.
Yeah,
and tulsi is a huge adaptogen too, and it's sweet, so it's has different properties from the ashwagandha. but they will make a powerhouse together.
Yeah. And if you're not a fan of the flavor, there's nothing wrong with the flavor. It's just not, it's just very, it's earthy. It's, I like flavor. So I combine mine with peppermint. Sometimes also with chamomile, but the peppermint and the chamomile calms your body. It will promote better sleep. So it's a great addition. And if you're adding the peppermint, I mean, my goodness, peppermint tea mixed with ashwagandha is why I no longer have any desire to eat at night.
Because the peppermint's taking away any kind of desire to want to snack or anything like that. Plus, it's aiding your digestion for getting ready for sleeping. So that's like peppermint's great for before bed.
Also, mindset and emotional health. This is the last piece we'll talk about, and then we'll just roll into what we're working on this week. Sorry for the long one, guys. No, I'm not.
We're making up for last week.
Yeah, we're making up for missing last week. So I want you to approach menopause with the mindset that this is nothing you are battling. It is a natural life stage.
That's right.
Okay. So many of us, and I've said it, it's like, oh, I'm battling this, battling that. When you're talking about something that is a natural life stage, that is not a battle. That is your natural progression in life. But if you're not filling your body, if you're not fueling your body with tons of toxins, you are not going to have the fight that you think you have. It's so much easier.
It is because we're human. We have a way of determining that things are going to be hard or easy. Everyone try this with anything. Okay. Tell yourself that it's going to be easy. It's going to be easy. I'm going to get this done and it's going to be easy. Words matter. Even when we're talking to ourselves. So it's like you start convincing yourself that something is hard. Guess what it's going to be? It's going to be hard. So if you start telling yourself that something's going to be easy, guess what it's going to be? It's going to be easy. So be mindful of the words that you're using to describe yourself or what you're trying to accomplish or things like that, because it matters, because you are always listening.
100%. And that's so true. One of the things that I battle with the most myself is procrastination, because I don't want to do something. It's like
we convince ourselves it's overwhelming or it's going to take too long or this or whatever it is. And it's usually not true.
No, so many times I go and I do it and I'm like, dude, that took me 20 minutes and I've been stressing about this for 2 weeks. This is so stupid.
Same.
Oh my gosh. But it is. You've just got to dive in, tell yourself it's going to be easy and just get it done.
Or give your permission to do whatever you're trying to get accomplished 5 minutes. I only have to do 5 minutes. And then turn that I only have to do 5 minutes into I get to do 5 minutes.
Which brings me to the next mindset thing, journaling and gratitude. If you are constantly reminding yourself all you have to be grateful for. You know what? I'm grateful that I have lived 50 good years and I now get to go through this stage in my life.
Absolutely.
How many people think of it like that?
Aging is not for the weak.
No, it's not. But your mindset is everything on how you're handling it. I don't look at anything I'm bad. I did this whole gray thing, and I thought, oh gosh, I love that I, for the first time since I was 11 years old, can say I don't have an ounce of unnatural, product on my hair.
Same.
And I'm so grateful, and so look for things like that, maybe you're not ready to let the gray come in like I was, but
I fought it for like 7 years.
I know, girl. I fought it for a while too. And it's so funny because I was just telling somebody last night, one of my clients, that I decided to stop coloring the year that me and Bill got married. So I was like full ombre for our wedding. And Chris Carroll that did our wedding pictures, you know, we love him. He's so talented. And he was like, of all years for you to stop coloring. But he said, I got you. And all my wedding pictures, he blended it so beautifully. He was able to do it. But it's so funny because if you see pictures that are untouched by Chris Carroll, I'm like, whoop. But I was done. I was so sick of, you know, every other area of my life. I was telling people, you know, stop the chemicals, stop the chemicals, stop the chemicals. Meanwhile, talk about being, you know,
absorbing right in through the scalp.
Right in through my scalp every, you know, 6 weeks or whatever I was doing. And I'm just like, boy, that's pretty bad. So yeah. And then celebrate the new freedoms that often come with this stage of life, such as wisdom, self-awareness, and growth. And we do. I mean, we just have so much to be grateful for.
So much experience and knowledge to share.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know about you, but I used to love to just listen to stories from my grandparents, you know, just listen to the stories of their lives or their childhood. And I love that. And now we're at that stage.
Yeah.
To pass stories down and to have the wisdom, to have the knowledge and pass it on, because that's what we're supposed to do.
Exactly. It's
I love that.
It's such a blessing.
It is.
So I encourage all of our listeners. I want to know, you know, we have Wendy's on wellness at gmail.com. Yes. I want to know if you try a natural GERD treatment this week, if you start a gratitude journal for, you know, start a menopause journal, you know, celebrate. Celebrate everything going on with your body at this stage in your life. You know, and just, I would love to know if you guys are going to start enacting any of these things that we're recommending and how it affects your life. You know, work on things to strengthen your immune system. And if you need help,
reach out. Yeah, reach out.
For you.
Please don't hesitate. I have so thoroughly enjoyed talking to so many of our clients this week.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful community. You guys don't ever hesitate to reach out to either one of us.
Yeah. It's been really neat because Wendy and Monica for personal training, they both just came on the first of the year for all of our new clients. And my clients love that not only are they getting the time with me, but now they also feel like they have a whole team working with them.
Yeah.
And it's just been so beautiful.
One of them was like, what exactly are you doing for me? I'm like, I am your herbal support specialist.
Yes. I love it. And every client gets 2 meetings with you and 2 meetings with Monica in addition to what they're getting with me. And so
I mean, you get the powerhouse of Wendy, Dr. Wendy, and all she has, and you get Wendy, your herbal specialist, and you get Monica, your personal trainer. Where else do you get all of that in one place?
Well, that is a perfect segue to my big announcement.
Yes, I'm so excited.
So
everybody,
y'all, I have decided, I've really been praying over this. The last couple of years, I've offered a special right at the holidays for anybody that joins one of our long-term programs, that they get the rest of the year for free in our phase 2 program. And that's a $1,900 free gift that you're getting when you do that. I have been so overjoyed over all of the things that I've already witnessed of people who are knowing they've got, you know, a whole year to work on this, but already what I'm seeing in the first month. I just had a couple last week that lost 15 pounds of inflammation in their first week.
That is amazing.
I've had other people that are, you know, 7 or 8 pounds here and there, and you know, increased energy, already having decreased in symptoms that they've had for decades. It is absolutely so awesome. So I decided that until for the next, I don't know, month or two. I haven't made a commitment on how long, but certainly into the early spring, I am going to extend that offer. So because I don't know when it ends, jump on it now. But when, it's certainly when we get, a whole lot of clients, I may have to back this off. But, we usually have a steady influx, but sometimes when I do these specials, we'll get a whole bunch all at once. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 8 months of free phase 2, which is my continuing management of what we've accomplished in your, whether you sign up for a 16-week program or a 6-month program. And I'm going to add 8 months for free on the end. Y'all,
wow. That is a deal. That is a deal.
That is huge.
Yes, it is.
And it's just, I just really feel strongly about, the folks that I'm able to work with for an entire year, what they're going to gain is huge. So,
huge
and if you ever have wanted to join one of the Freedom Holistic Wellness programs and have worried that you can't afford it, because I know it's an investment, I get it. But I've partnered now with Klarna and Afterpay. You can start our 16-week program for as low as $99 a month.
Nice.
When I was having to finance them myself, because I Bill and I decided we were going to finance people ourselves, First National Bank of Massey, to be able to do these programs. And I could never do it for that cheap. So the fact that I've been able to partner with 2 companies who can offer that, it's just incredible. So please, if you've ever thought, you know what, I'm ready to take my health under my control, I'm ready to have that freedom. Y'all, the switch to the name of Freedom Holistic Wellness, it was freedom in Christ, but it was also freedom in your health. You have no idea what a change it will make in your life when you release that control that food has on you, and you gain it, and you have control over your food. You have control over your health. You have better control over what you are doing, what your body is doing, than what your doctors will convince you that you have, because they don't understand nutrition.
Absolutely.
So you are going to gain so much if you make this decision. So please, I don't know an end date, y'all. I'm not saying that just to get everybody to sign up.
Get it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that just to get everybody to sign up now. I'm saying that because after a certain number of people have taken advantage of this, I may have to cut it off. Yes. Right now, my plan is to keep it going into March. I can't make that promise, because if we get 100 new clients, we may have to go, okay.
Right.
We need to put brakes on, because I will never not be able to give people full attention like we do. Right. I will also say I only take 3 one-to-one clients a month. Depending on the situation, once in a blue moon, I go up to 4. It's very, very rare. I only have 2 spots open for one-to-one clients in the month of February. I tend to fill up ahead of time now. So if you are interested in the ultra customized plan for 16 weeks, where I meet with you every week on Zoom, where I do a specific plan just for you, and you have your own personal, alternative medical practitioner to contact any old time you need me, for 16 weeks. That is something I only take 2 to 4 a month, or 3 to 4 a month. And I only have 2 left for February. So jump on that if you're interested. And I'm also giving those people the additional 8 months free as well. So yes.
Very generous. Very generous.
Well, I want to help. I was not saying this to pat myself on the back, but I was voted in nursing school most likely to save the world, and I have never stopped trying.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's what we were doing when we got together every Wednesday years ago, and here we are doing it again.
Yes, that's right. We're saving the world.
That's right.
All that will listen. So what do you have going on this week? My goodness, we've gone on.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what I have going on this week. I really don't. I'm right now, I'm kind of all over the place. There's so much that I'm still working on, but Restoration Garden is making progress. So I'll just leave it at that.
Awesome.
How about you?
I am still working with everybody in the Sugar Busters 2-week XL program,
Yep.
the Sugar Busters XL 2-week program, which has been so exciting.
Yes, I'm
seen,
loving it.
That's good. And I am also working. I made comment earlier about Bill with this dandruff, and I had bought him a couple of natural shampoos, as close to natural as I could find, that were supposed to be good dandruff treatment, and they're not helping him at all. This, again, I mentioned earlier in the podcast, was caused by an excess of those steroids. It's really messed him up. So we'll talk about natural dandruff treatment next week, but I am working this week on a homemade dandruff therapy that he can use in the shower. Nice. So we're going to give that a shot, and we'll share more about that next week.
That's something that I've never homemade is shampoo. Now, I do have a bottle that my friend Marty made. It was rosemary based. Mm-hmm. Very nice. Most natural shampoos don't really lather a whole lot. Yeah. So I'm liking what she gave me, but with anything natural like that, it just doesn't, there's no preservatives in it. So it doesn't, you can't let it sit around. You got to use it and get it done.
Yeah. I'm going to make him a little jar that he can use. And I actually recently got I'm going to see what the consistency is. If I can make it something that'll squirt, I may put one of my, my new
pumps.
Yeah, one of my new pumps that goes on the mason jars. Yeah, I may put one of those on there for him so he can keep it in the shower.
Yeah,
but yeah. So we'll have to talk about that for sure.
I'm excited. I'm excited to hear how it turns out, because I love stuff like that, especially for I'm buying a really expensive shampoo body wash for my grandbabies. That's totally clean. But I mean, it's like a little bottle like this, and it's like $20. Yeah. And you know how kids love to squirt.
Oh yes. Yes. 100%.
But it's like, I no longer feel good buying Johnson & Johnson. Right. I just can't do it. It's like, I love them babies more than that.
Yes. I'm with you. That's why I try not to be a nag when I'm in Tennessee, because my daughter does amazing. I will tell you, she's so good about making sure that she's getting things that don't have the dyes in them and all that for babies. But my granddaughter was using my toothpaste, the Earth.
The natural.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, she was using it, and she said, "I like this, Gigi." So of course I had to run downstairs and tell Kirsty. I was like, "She likes this.
That's right. That's right.
You don't need the bluey, toothpaste.
That's right. Good stuff. Right. Usually just the fun toothbrushes is enough for them.
Yeah. Exactly. All right.
What a great show. We made up for last week.
We made up. Nobody will say that they lost any kind of time with us, because they got almost 2 hours with us this time. But we appreciate
y'all so very much. We missed y'all last week too.
We did. Very much so. And again, thank you all to y'all who reached out to us wondering where the heck we were. That made us feel so good, because otherwise it was like nobody would have even noticed.
Nobody missed us, and nobody even noticed we weren't there.
Right. Speaking of which, please go on to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Like and subscribe. Subscribe and like the video. Share. We are never we're never going to get out there because of the way the algorithms work if you guys don't actually engage and show that you appreciate what we're doing. We get tons of messages of how many people appreciate it. I love, somebody told you, I think it was it Marty, that's her, or somebody, no, maybe it was Stephanie. That we're her Saturday morning tea, or her Saturday morning coffee time, and she listens to us for the week. So, if our message is blessing you, if our message is resonating with you, please share it.
Yes, please.
We want to get this out to as many people as possible, and the YouTube likes and subscribes make a massive difference. So please, even if you watch us on Facebook or X, please go on YouTube and subscribe and like, and that will help us tremendously. So
Absolutely.
anything else, my lovey?
I think that's it for now.
All right. Well, we will see you all live next week. We love you guys. Stay well.
Mwah.